Hey, what's up? This is Connect out there in High Vibes. In today's video, I just want to talk about basically subconscious attacks, subnet program that these agents try to throw on, basically throw on you people. Their little experiments that they try to throw on you, and like how they basically see you people as guinea pigs, and like they try to test things basically to get you to see your reactions and what you do, and basically treat you like a a lab rat. So basically, they try to treat you like a lab rat and test you to see what type of reactions you have and the things that you do in the scenarios. So like, I'll just want to start off with that basically. So these agents and stuff like that will actually set up programs in certain cycles and with different colors and things like that to actually test you to see how you actually respond to certain things. See, humans don't really, as society and stuff like that, and as a collective society, or individually, people don't realize that these agents are actually just testing people and actually putting people in, experiments. These are the agent-like experiments and stuff like that. They have places where they do certain experiments on human beings and stuff like that, and do different type of things and all that type of stuff. But I'm not really going to get into all that type of stuff. But they treat you people like lab rats, and they do these experiments so they can, based off the ego, because the ego tries to calculate certain types of things, right? And it's all trying to do mathematical equations and all these different types of things, because the ego thinks that by observing you to a certain degree, it's going to figure some stuff out about you that it thinks that it knows and stuff like that. But see, this is what it thinks that, see, this is the part that the ego is completely lost in, and all these people that are agents and stuff like that. You can't box in the spirit. You can't box that type of stuff in. See, what they're trying to do is get people. See, they work with the physical and the mental. So what they try to do is continuously work on that physical and mental type of information that they do have and stuff like that. So that way they can continue to progress with that type of different different tactics and stuff like that. But if you actually start to realize what they really truly are doing, you'll start to see all those certain cycles and all these different types of things that get you back into certain loops. See, a lot of these things on television and all these different types of things that you see on TV, just like, say, football, for example. Every year they play the exact same thing, but with different teammates. It's a different type of thing. Imagine each generation, right? It's the same cycle over and over. People grow up in life and then they die off, but they spawn their kids, right? But they leave on the program. Then the next testing goes the different types of programs. If you see that with the technology and stuff like that, how it's progressing and all these different types of experiments. See, their motivation and stuff like that is to get people so in tune with these types of technologies, so that way you can't actually break free from this man-made matrix. See, they want to get you so tuned into it, basically, where they have you complete locked down 100%, so that way you can't break free. But actually, there's a way to break free. There's always a way to break free, because spirit is always working its way through everything. Because spirit could do anything that's anything wants to. Spirit could manifest an asteroid and decide, fuck the planet. Guess what? I'm gonna start it all over. Boom, there it is. There's some things that are out of people's control that people try to basically get you in. But there's other subconscious types of things that they try to do. There's if you start to understand certain things about your brain and stuff like that, and certain types of frequencies and stuff like that, they'll actually try to use, through car lights. I experienced this on pretty much on a constant basis, actually. These people will actually use car lights and things like that, and different types of, brighting and certain like frequencies and stuff like that. While I'm just trying to go home and stuff like that, these people will try to use strobe lights and shit like that, and all these different types of things, because all these frequencies and stuff like that, because everything here equates to energy. So you have to realize when people are doing certain stuff, they're actually trying to test you and see the way you react, things that you're doing, because and then so they can try to run background scripts on you and start to the next day, or in the dream realm, they can do something, or send, maybe they'll do some work with some demons and stuff like that. They might do their sacrifice and stuff like that, to then actually have these entities attack you. Or they might actually do a sacrifice to actually have this entity come after you and stuff like that. And all these different types of rituals and all these different type of contracts that these egotistical beings and these demons make with each other, so that way they can work towards their goal of bringing their heaven on earth. But really, it's a fucked up world that they're trying to bring on. But back to them making contracts and stuff like that with these entities and stuff like that actually gets you programmed. They're doing these type of things to get you locked down, basically, to run these different types of scripts into your subconscious mind, basically. That's why they use the lighting and stuff like that, all these different colors and things like that, because that energy, all the colors and stuff like that deal deal with, emitting frequencies and stuff like that, deals with making you feel a certain way. That's why when you get out in the nature and you see the color green and blue and stuff like that, it makes you feel a certain way. And guess what? They know about that. And you know what they do with that? They use it through television and stuff like that. They make it, they put people's image and stuff like that. If some of you people that are new to my channel and stuff like that, if you haven't really paid attention to TV and the way they promote things, you'll start, if you really start to pay attention, they make the people all smiley, it's this happy family, or, it's all this really crisp, clean type of stuff. They put the nature behind it with the sun, and that's all stimulating you. That's all different type of stimulation within your mind. Because see, if you're in a beta brainwave and stuff like that, it's not a, well, it is a bad thing to be in it, but most people are in this type of brainwave, but they're not actually being conscious. But see, this video is meant to help you actually break out of that beta brainwave and actually get you into a conscious brainwave where you're actually, on a higher frequency, so that way when that type of stuff is trying to stimulate you in a negative way, you can actually break free from it and actually stop that and have that conscious filter basically, and actually stop that type of programming coming inside your personal technology unit. See, all this type of different stuff and all these different colors and stuff like that are all programs in a test in a big giant zoo. People have been domesticated. People are put into zoos, and people don't even realize that people are in a prison already without them even knowing it. They got a mental prison, all these different types of boxes and stuff like that with the symbology. Oh, that's actually another thing too. I want to talk about the movements and all the things that people do that are symbolic. There are things that people are doing that are symbolically representing stuff to actually get you programmed and actually vamp your energy. They could be coming around making a noise at a certain time when you're doing something, and all of a sudden, boom, and they continuously do that. See, that's a cycle. Same thing with animals and stuff like that. They test animals, right? They see how the animal reacts. Excuse me. They see how the animal reacts by giving it a piece of food, right? And if that animal doesn't get that piece of food, right, say they give a chimpanzee a banana every day at a certain time, and that's a cycle that it starts creating, right? And that monkey, and once it continues gets that banana at that same time of the day, it expects that banana, right? But eventually at some point, and then the people that are trying to test the monkey and shit, they take away the banana, and then at that certain time, that monkey is expecting it, because it already has that programming that they have programmed that monkey with, basically, to okay, where's the banana? So that monkey starts to freak out or do something erratic because it's not receiving what it had thought it was going to get. They do the same thing with humans. They get the people into a program, basically, that is actually making people expect certain things in life. And see, that deals with expectations too. They get people expecting all these different little cycles. See, there's so many individual little cycles that people are in that you can easily break free from if you actually just become spiritually in tune. See, the difference between actually, just like in my last video, the ego's course versus the spiritual course. If you're not actually, basically, on your spiritual course, they're gonna have you on the ego's course, basically, which leads you in a lab round and round like a lab rat. They put rats and stuff like that in a thing trying to find a piece of cheese and stuff like that to see what it does. Then they do certain like injections and stuff on that, just like the chemtrails. They're doing certain experiments and stuff like that to see what type of reactions they get within the atmosphere. Not only within the atmosphere, but what type of using different chemicals and stuff like that to make people feel certain ways on certain days. Then doing certain programs. They're doing massive experiments on people on a massive scale now, because they've actually they've have overlaid the grids with their man-made grids and stuff like that. See, that's why you have to become spiritually in tune, become spiritually aware of the things that are happening in your surroundings, because if you're not actually becoming aware of those things that are happening in your surroundings, then you're actually just part of their little experiment and part of their little game, basically, in the chessboard, their illusion of games. See, the ego, when you see the checkerboard and stuff like that, and it can represent different types of things, but most of the time, in different experiences, depends on the certain situation, stuff like that. You're part of that illusion. You're part of that egotistical illusion that basically, a cycle. It's a cycle, basically. That's why in a race and stuff like that, they're waving the flag and stuff like that, and they're going around in a circle and stuff like that. The ego deals with the illusion, so they're throwing the illusion in people's faces. They're throwing that con cycle in everyone's faces, that control and stuff like that, because they got everyone conned into this man-made matrix, thinking that they're in control of their lives and stuff like that. It's like some people are actually in control of their life, that actually are spiritual beings and out here and stuff like that, that actually are dictating their lives in a more higher purpose, in a better manner, that actually is helping people. You see, The difference between actually, taking, control of your life, and then actually being, thinking that you have control. You know, there is actually having control over your life, and there's people that are living the ego's control. See, there's spiritual control and there's ego control. The ego control is actually conning people into believing that they have all the control in the world. See, when you have true control over yourself and stuff like that, it comes from your spirit, it comes from within inside yourself. See, once you can get into your spirit and you can understand what the ego is and see how it's actually getting you into the cycle and the illusions, stuff like that. See, that's why you have to break free from the illusions and the ego. So I'm not saying get rid of your ego, but you have to be willing to tame it so you can start to see through the illusions. See, they got everyone tuned in the ego that deals with the illusions and stuff like that, and that's how they're dictating people and actually manipulating people. Like I said in my last video, with the emotions and stuff like that. If you can't see that and stuff like that, then you're gonna be stuck in the illusion, going in that lap consistently over and over again until someone that's spiritual comes with a message that actually helps you break free and actually gets you in tune with the right type of frequency that you need to be getting in tune with, so that way you can actually break out of this man-made matrix, not just the physical but the mental as well, and then eventually get into the spiritual matrix of this reality. Well, it's not particularly dealing with this reality, but it's on a whole different level, basically. But I'm not going to get into that right now. But, start to be aware that these agents are actually testing you and actually setting up certain, experiments with you, dealing with colors and stuff like that. They do this stuff on a daily basis with a lot of people, and some people don't know. Yeah, and there are people that are, targeted individuals because it's like people have certain types of energy signatures within them, so they like to see what type of reactions and stuff like that they can get from these people, not just from me, or not just based off me, but anybody out there that's watching this video, that's actually tuned into their spiritual higher self, or actually just tuning into Spirit's message, basically, because they want to basically control Spirit. They want to try to get that lockdown on Spirit, so that way they can try to be, the kings and the queens of this reality to their highest, what they believe is their highest potential of what they are, and bring their God here, so that way they can feel like they've achieved what they feel is true immortality in this reality. But it's not truly immortality in this reality, because at some point it ends. At some point, everything in this, if you ever look all way things in this reality works, in this physical and mental reality, at some point your physical body dies. At some point, you see something else that physically dies. A tree dies, but not spiritually. The spirit part of what it really is, the energy that's behind that, either the vessel or the tree and stuff like that, that's truly a conscious energy within that doesn't die. The spirit moves on to the next phase of its life and then the journey that it's supposed to be on. But see, that's why they try to get you on the journey of the ego, which is not really a journey. It's just a cycle, basically. And you become that snake eating its tail, and they want you to become that snake that's eating its own tail, because basically how Brother Austin was saying, they want you to, well, I actually just forgot it. I was about to say it, but then I just forgot it. But shout out to Brother Austin for his Rise video, truly high in vibes and speaking with that fire and turning up to that truth, basically. And that's what the world needs. It needs more people that actually speak truth. People that actually, are spreading the message that actually helps people. See, there's too many fucking fake people out here. There's too many people out here that are spreading messages that aren't helping people. See, when you come to one of the, not only my video, but one of the connects, any of them that are dealing with RTM and stuff, that are actually tuned into their spirit, it's going to be a message that actually helps you break free. A message that actually helps you, get you resonating on your heart frequency that you need to be resonating on to actually break free. So you don't break out of this place by being egotistical. You don't break out of this place by being mentally, strong. You break out of this place by being spiritually strong in your heart and who you truly are as a spiritual person. That's what makes you free. And that's the ticket out of here, is truly being free inside your spirit. See, people want to think they can leave Earth and space travel and do all this stuff, when, spirit is that travel. Spirit is that journey. See, they got so many people focused on the mirror hex that they've casted on people. They got everyone so focused on all these things that don't matter in life. But the only thing that really matters is your heart. Well, it's not the only thing that matters, but there's things that do matter in your life that you have to learn. You have to find the balance of what does matter in your life and what doesn't matter. See, that's the yin and yang. There are things that will matter in your life, and there are things that don't matter in your life. And you have to find that balance within yourself. And, and that goes with food or anything that's in this reality, basically, and stuff like that. But, just be aware of these tests and stuff that these agents are throwing at you, uh, to get you programmed, because all they see you people as guinea pigs. They see you as their little experiment, their little testing type of stuff and things like that. See, if there's a being out here, if they saw a being doing some really incredible stuff that would awe a lot of people and like really stir up the hive mind of these people, doing some type of like super like highly advanced telekinesis, or like some things that people wouldn't perceive to be real, and the laws of physics being broken basically like that, they would try to do experiments on these people. See, anytime that deals with spirit and stuff like that, they try to take it and they try to manipulate that type of information so that way they can use it to actually imprison you people out there that are watching this video, so that way they can trap you and take the knowledge for themselves that they've learned and acquired and stuff like that, and be the consuming energy to take your energy and use what they've learned to power their ego and stuff like that in this man-made matrix to continue to fuel that type of stuff. See, they all the experiments that they do are for their little god that they're this little god that they have in mind, that is they think is going to be the ruler of this reality basically and stuff like that. But that's all I want to say in this video basically. Start to be aware of these little experiments and stuff like that, because they are doing experiments on people. It doesn't have to be where they're injecting you and stuff like that. It's actually them, subconsciously, mentally and physically. They'll send women into your life. Then they'll have the people that are watching you, observing you, taking notes on you basically, just like in the Adjustment Bureau, like. And people don't realize that there's people, doing all sorts of symbolism and stuff like that. That are in sequences and stuff, in certain sequences through colors and stuff like that, to start, programming your mind and getting your mind to shift a certain way, so that way you start tuning into a certain frequency and stuff like that. Because all the colors and stuff all the colors and things like that are emitting frequencies, and all these different, gestures and coughing and certain tones and frequencies that are playing and stuff like that, is to get you into basically, they're trying to find little ways. See, they're always at work to just try to find what programs are basically going to slide underneath your consciousness to actually, so they can implement that. But see, when you're in spirit, say you do get programmed with something with your spiritual, when you get programmed in a negative way, say if you're a drone and stuff like that, if you've gotten programmed when you were in a low vibration and stuff like that, becoming spiritually aware, you start to become aware of those type of things. You start to become aware of the the things that are happening in your reality. That's why you become aware. You journal and stuff like that, because they're journaling about you. They're taking notes on you. They're taking pictures of you. Well, not everybody, but they are doing these things. If you are someone that is threatening to their matrix system, say if someone's actually a threat to their matrix system and stuff like that, they will watch you, they will observe you, they will try to program you, bring you back down. Or if you are a spiritual being, they will try to program you and things like that, because that shows you how fearful they are of you actually becoming spiritual. See, they try to make you believe that you're fearful of them. That's why they try to instill the fear inside of you. But in all reality, if they had nothing to fear, if they had truly nothing to fear, then why is it that they try to program you as a spiritual person, right? Why is that? Ask yourself that. See, they try to throw illusions at people's faces and stuff like that to get you programmed basically and twisted within your mind, because that's the mirror hex. That's what they try to do. They try to get you on that checkerboard to repeat yourself, never to go truly rise on up to your highest potential and things like that. See, really ask yourself, why is it, if you two turn up spiritually and stuff like that, and you're really turning up your vibes and stuff like that, why is it that people come around to try to take your energy? Why is it that they try to program and make you fearful? Why is it that all these certain type of experiences where people, send energy through their eyes to try to eye gaze you and stuff like that? It's because the energy behind of who you truly are as a spiritual being is what makes this place a difference, and they don't want that because they're afraid of that. See, once you get in tune with your spirit and you start to see things for what they truly are, you can actually break free from this place and actually break other people free from this place. See, if you can break other people out of this man-made matrix and stuff like that, that is a threat to them, because that makes them fearful of actually things changing, because see, they want to be the gods of this reality. They want to be in control of everything. And when things don't go their way, they start to complain, they start to whine. See, they want you to be okay with being egotistical, but then they try to get you to be afraid of being spiritual. See, they want you to have a problem with people being spiritual here, but they don't want you to have a problem with people being egotistical. See, when you turn up to be spiritual, and if they're trying to make you fearful and all this shit, don't be afraid of these people. Don't be goddamn afraid of none of them. If you're spiritual and stuff like that, and they're trying to attack you, tell them basically to deal with it. Tell them to fucking deal with the fact that you're spiritual and that you're turning up for spirit and that you're doing something that makes this world a better place. If they want to sit there and bitch and whine and fucking complain about you being spiritual in this life, they can, to be honest, they go fuck themselves. Because in all honesty, when you're a spiritual person, you're doing something that's right for this reality, and then trying to harm you and stuff like that, you have every right to defend yourself. You have every right as a spiritual being to tell these people to fuck off in all reality, because you are a spiritual being. You are powerful. You have all this power within inside yourself that comes from spirit, and spirit wants you to know that, because you know why? Because this world needs to change for what it really needs, not for what these egotistical little baby bastards think that this reality is. And they'll get upset by hearing this message because they know it's true. See, the truth is what really sets people free. That truth and that fire within inside somebody. When you can speak truth and fire within inside yourself and have that spiritual confidence inside yourself, you can truly speak a message that really resonates out in this world. And that's why when you get to a certain frequency and stuff like that, you won't be fearful of these people anymore, because they will try to make you fearful, because they understand if they can continue to make you fearful in this world, they can control you. But once you break free from that fear, you can do anything in this reality. And with that understanding and things like that, you are a limitless being and stuff like that. Once you truly attain that type of frequency, there's nothing holding you back anymore. There's nothing that's holding you back besides you and your ego. All these limitations and these boxed-in type of fucking programs that they try to throw at you are no longer part of who you truly are. Well, no longer part of what you thought you were, and the ego's thought of who you were. You become more than what you ever expected to be. You become more than what you ever thought you could be in life. You go to a certain point in your life where you're beyond what they thought you were in life, because when you get into a certain frequency and a certain vibration, you can do things beyond what they tell you, or things that you could have even imagined in this reality. And you truly gain this type of fire and this passion within inside yourself that no matter when anybody tries to eye gaze you, no matter who they are, they try to rob your vehicles and stuff like that, you can break through all that stuff. Doesn't matter if they try to send spiritual negative energies towards you or anything. You need to know how to transmute, do all these types of things. And if you can do that, you're going to succeed in your life. And if you can get your Trinity motion, you're going to succeed in life. And if you can truly get to your higher self and really put in that work, and if you do put in that work for spirit, you will succeed. You will succeed, and you will make things change in your life. You will become a better person. You'll speak to people with more confidence. Instead of being fearful to speak to other people and being out of that box, you become that person that breaks out of the box. And then there's those zombies that try to bring you back in. They use all these different types of lab rats to even try to get you into that type of stuff. But that's all I really want to truly say in this video, because I could keep going on with this type of, this fire inside of me that I got kind of heated up towards the end, but I want to make sure that they know that, because you know what? I'm not afraid. I never will be, because you know why? And truly in my higher self, I know who I truly am. I'm a spiritual being. I'm not afraid to be who I truly am. So peace and out with my highest vibrations. My full love is to all those who are watching. Of course, my gratitude to our team, my spirit fam. I truly love you all. Don't be afraid of these people. As long as we stick together, and as long as we truly be with each other, there's nothing that can stop us, because, they try to get you into what they want you to be, they want you to be locked into their grids and stuff like that. But when we get into the spiritual grids and stuff like that, once we truly get into that higher frequency, guess what? We're truly free, and they don't want that, and guess what? We will get that. So high vibes and peace in and out.